What's up, y'all? You are listening to For the Artists, a podcast brought to you by Creative and Projects. I'm your host, Melissa Sharee.
And I'm your co-host, Eric Seats.
Y'all, we brought back a very special guest. I love our guest. Yes, I do.
Same, Melissa.
But you know what? Father's Day is coming up this Sunday. So,
Yes.
you know, we shouted out the moms last month. And so we had to shout out the fathers because they are equally as necessary and as important, regardless of what the world may try to tell y'all. Listen, don't get me preaching about that, okay?
But keep going. Keep going.
So,
Amen.
both Seats and our, you know what? Lorenzo has been on before, y'all. If you remember, he was like our very first feature because, you know, he's like that. He always supports the organization. He always has my back. So when I called him, was like, can you be the first feature? He was like, yes. And so anyway, we're bringing him back. I'm sure we'll bring him back again. But he is a Renaissance man. In case you forgot, he writes, he directs. He wears so many multiple hats. He's a businessman, okay? We talked about Swam last time. He can talk about it again because I got to get my shirts. I need to send you my money so I can get my shirts and represent. I got to wear one on the podcast. But anyway, you guys, he's a poet. He's a warrior. But most importantly today, he is a dad. So welcome, Lorenzo.
Thank you so much, Melissa, Eric. Humbly honored to be back on with you guys. Thank you guys for inviting me back for this momentous occasion celebrating us.
Yes, celebrating. Right. First of all, let me tell you, from day one, since I have met you and known you, you have always repped as a dad. Like, I mean, of all the hats that you wear that on your sleeve. Like, you know what I mean? Like the little queen, I call her little queen. She was always present and always around. Anytime we were at rehearsal together, you know, she was right there. Anytime you had a show, she was right there. And that always amazed me because she was little back then. I was like, dang, you have her up in her. Tell us about that. Why? Why did you, in terms of the way that you moved, did you always make sure that your daughter was with you?
Well, when Nzinga was 3, that's my daughter, Nzinga. When she was 3, her mom and I separated. And by the time she was 5, I had pretty much full custody of her. So she was with me 24/7. She went to school with me the entire school year. And then she would spend her summer, which was like 2.5 months with her mom. So she was with me most of the year and then a couple months with her mom. And then some holidays she would hang out with her mom. But she was with me like 24/7. And that's been going on now almost 10 years. She's going to be 15 in a couple of months.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, she just finished her first year of high school. And we just went to her banquet. That was the end of the year school banquet that we went to on this past Saturday. And really nice, really good food, had some entertainment, and they gave out awards. And Nzinga, proud of my baby, was awarded Student of the Year.
What?
Her first year of high school.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And congratulations to both you and her.
Thank you. Yeah, they had a table full of gifts. They had PlayStations, Dre Beats, iPads, all kind of stuff. They told Nzinga, pick whatever you want off the table.
Wow.
So
these are the things that are not promoted enough in mainstream, because you know, I'm hearing you and you sound like an awesome dad, and I know a bunch of other awesome dads, and this is just simply not promoted enough. There are not enough commercials. There are not enough whatever propaganda is going to claim to be. They're not ripping us right.
Yeah.
And I like this podcast for being able to let him expose how great of a dad he is, because there's something. I'm a proud dad as well, and you know, I love to hear other dads talk about their children, male or female children. There's something that's misconstrued in our community, like black dads don't care, but I know some hands-on dads that look like just like me with this pigment that are phenomenal fathers.
Absolutely.
And we just don't get that leverage, you know, that privilege. And everything is such a whack story, but that can't be true. And you're a great example. Thank you for stepping up.
You're welcome. My pleasure. And I often hear people say, man, you're such an incredible dad. You do this, you do that, you know, and we're not used to seeing, you know, dads doing all this or dads having full custody of their children, especially a girl. Mm-hmm. And my response is always, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
I ain't doing nothing special. I'm just taking care of my child as I should.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm envious of that because I really wish that I had custody of my daughters as well. I had 2 girls first. And I was just always ready. And I always kept a place to where they had their own rooms and different things like that. I made sure ever since they graced this earth, I was going to be prepared to facilitate. But something about the court system in this society, I don't want to go that dark in this conversation, but I'm one of those dads that I envy your story. I wish that I had and I don't know if it's the traveling according to my professionalism or my career that didn't allow certain things to come into play and different things like that. But I'm like, like I said, and I won't keep saying this over and over again, but Black dads are not promoted enough. The ones that are willing to be there, everybody didn't leave.
Exactly.
Everybody didn't leave, and we need to stop that silly excuse. And everybody's not that old general depiction of the Black dad leaving. It's not always accurate, and we need to stop fooling ourselves because there's a lot of great dads out there, you guys.
But in order for something like what happened with me and my daughter, it has to be a mutual concern between the mother and father that what's best for the child.
Unfortunately.
So that has to happen in order for it to pan out like it did. So she knew at the time that Nzinga was better off with me.
Mm-hmm.
That I was.
Where'd you meet her?
You know, more. You know, so it was never no courts involved, any of that. You know, it was just the way we did it, and it worked out great.
And she's from the USA?
Yes, she is.
Wow.
Hey, Lorenzo, I have to interrupt real quick though, because you just said, you know, when people speak to you about, you know, your fathering and how you are as a dad, your first response, not your first response, I'm adding that, but your response is, you know, I'm just doing like what I'm supposed to do. Like I'm a dad, right? However, I'm going to say that while, yes, you're doing what you do, you know, being a dad, to me, what I see in terms of like what you have nurtured specifically as it relates to Nzinga being creative and, you know, moving in artistry like you do, to me, that feels special. Like every dad doesn't, I don't feel like every dad doesn't do that, you know? And so you might disagree with me, that's fine. But I think that that's special. And I want to know, you know, why was it so important? Because obviously that's important to you because you've committed to that since, you know, for as long as I've known you, you've had a commitment to make sure that she is in the lane of being able to be creative and express herself. And like, so why was that so important to you?
Well, mainly because I grew up without my dad. My mom and dad divorced when I was like 5. I made a commitment to myself, you know, that when I have children, that I would always be around, no matter what. I've done that. You know, I've never, you know, not been around. So I've just made an example of myself to myself that this is what I need to do. And no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, what's my profession, she rolling with me. I mean, I would get invited to stuff and I was like, can I bring my daughter? And if I couldn't bring her, then I wasn't going.
My daughter is my date. And if my date can't come, I'm not there.
Exactly. So that's how I rolled since she was 3. Since she was born, basically. But that's how I always rolled. So you seen when I was directing plays and we were doing rehearsals. I mean, she's backstage with me and she's just soaking everything up. I mean, there was times we were backstage and we were rehearsing, and somebody would miss their line, and she would tell me, "Dad, they missed their line."
Woo! We got a lot in common.
You know, and she know everything that's going on. So the arts, theater, acting, film, poetry, spoken word, all that has been instilled in her since she was a baby.
See, you've done that too, because I've seen videos and I've seen posts.
Let me you know what's so funny is I post what I want people to see. They don't know the half. So the things that they're capable of seeing is I know how to keep people at bay, and I know how to keep people out of my business. But I want them to see me being a hands-on father, sending these kids to the Olympics, to wherever they're going. And that's so important for us to display on social media while we're displaying all our other accomplishments. I like to display being a Black hands-on dad with a kid that loves their dad equally, and because we don't have that exposed to us, and it's not at our convenience, and we usually look like a villain and like we left. Everybody didn't leave. Everybody didn't leave. Some people ran away. We don't like to talk about those things. But those are very things that accountability is a beast in this piece. And so what the beautiful thing about children is they grow up. So you can feed them whatever you want them to when they're in their impressionable stages. But after a while, they start considering and looking around and understanding, know what's building them and what's tearing them down. And then they just make their own conscious decisions. And you know who comes out on the bottom is the manipulative parent.
Indeed.
And the dude that's there, or a female that's there, doesn't even have to say anything. They just do what they do. You know who's gonna come out on top? I'm commending you. I'm saying thank you for representing the unpopular vote called, because birds of a feather flock together. So I only know a bunch of good dads. I don't know a bunch of deadbeats. I don't know about what society's talking about, all these dudes I only know a bunch of dudes that stepped up. But we're the unpopular vote. But this Father's Day, we will make sure that everybody that needs to be, shout out to all the guys that understand that the greater good is better. And our children need us.
Indeed.
Because just as sure as it took both of us to make them, they need both of us to succeed. And that's what the moms need to understand and realize a little better. It takes two continuously.
Absolutely.
Period. You didn't do nothing on your own. I don't want this to be that session, but I'm a dad. I'm a dad, and this is daddy. I'm a dad. I'm not gonna hold back.
Renzo.
And I'm a musician dad, whatever that sounds like.
Yeah. All right, Renzo, you talk about how Nzinga soaked up, all the theatrical and all that. She soaked up excellence from you too. Let me tell you, because she started her own little business. What's the name of her business again? Did she have a name?
Yes. Give me a second.
I know, because I'm like, I can't think of the name right now.
Couture? Is it Beauty Couture?
Something like that. It's not even,
it's already impressive.
All right. Well, look, while you're getting it, this is my little pouch, y'all, because I placed my order. Okay.
Right on.
And it came when it was like in the cutest little, setup.
But and Melissa, where'd you order it from? So we can all order.
Queen Couture.
Queen Couture. So you can go on the Instagram. Queen with a K.
QueenCouture.com, and Couture is spelled with a K.
Okay.
Yeah. So it came with this personal note that said, can y'all see it? Melissa, I love you. And Nzinga. And it was like, thanks. And these are like little lip glosses that she made. Made herself. And it's got little star sparkles in there. I mean, I'm just always so impressed with her. I don't know why, because she gets it from you. I'm impressed with you too. But it's like,
she told me one day, she's like, Dad, I want to start this online business. She's like, I need $300.
I wish I had that nerve when I was a kid, that age.
Right.
I guess I didn't know what to ask for when I was her age.
Right.
But I do love the bravery in this generation. Indeed. I'm not mad at it because my kids are so ambitious. They make me feel bad about not doing enough. And I'm like, dang, I didn't have, we couldn't talk to our parents like they talk to us now. We would have got smacked upside the head. Let's keep it all the way 100. But they're able to convey their messages in a clarity that they don't have to get in trouble. And I understand my kids that they're under 10, but they understand professionalism already. And I'm like, I can't deny that. And I'm like, you know what? They watching you. They're watching your surroundings. The one thing I do understand, since we're talking about parenting, and we need to remember the kids that we were. Our parents told us certain things, and we knew what we can cipher through and what they meant and what they didn't mean. And I bet you that's been amplified since we've had children, and they've been watching us. So I guess Lorenzo, she's watching you in such a way. What are you going to be doing in the next decade or so that she needs to pay attention to?
Oh, absolutely. So when she told me she needed $300, my response was, okay, so what exactly is $300 buying? What are we getting for this $300? Mm-hmm. And then she explained everything to me. She's like, I need a printer. I need this product to actually create my my lip glosses. She like, I already have the website. I designed my own website. I created my own logo, and I created my own website. And I was like, okay, so now we getting some particulars here. So I said, so this is what we'll do. I'll put up 150. We're gonna use 150 of your money, and together we gonna put it together. Go get all your stuff, and then we gonna launch. So and that's what we did. So $300 later, she got all the products. She created everything, and when she launched, she had an actual launch date and everything. And she was on TikTok, and I'm getting ready to launch my business. And the first week, I think nobody had bought anything from her but her mom. So I'm like, all right, babe, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just post your stuff on my Facebook page. So I created this post, and I basically said, my 14-year-old daughter Zinga just started her own online business. She created her own website. She created her own logo. She even put up half of the capital to start the business. I, of course, put up the other half. So please support young entrepreneurs in Black business. And within a few days, she had like $500 worth of orders.
Man, I hope somebody's listening.
Somebody's listening.
I bet you half of the battle. You know what I consider my real 401k or my Roth IRA or my Social Security? The 3 kids that I have. I have 3 children. I consider them a better package than any other organization. I really feel that they're going to take better care of me when I can't do for myself. And that's what you're clearly setting your daughter up to do. And it's just a mind. The mentality is everything. It determines whether they're going to be local minded or a global minded conception. You're doing a great job, and you're going to be taken well care of because you're raising something that's going to be able to facilitate your needs when we can't handle our own.
Right.
Future is so important, and a lot of us don't think ahead enough. Go ahead, Melissa. You want to say something?
No.
I hope I'm not wrong, but I feel so strong about this subject because I'm such a hands-on dad, man. I understand that, let me not get too much personal.
I'm gonna ask Lorenzo a question because we got to get him to answer some stuff. So,
go ahead.
Lorenzo, talk to us about what it's like to successfully balance between being an artist and doing all the things that you desire to do and want to do creatively, and then still holding it down as a parent, actually a single parent, because you're a single dad.
Right.
So what is that? How are you successful in doing that?
Well, first of all, as you said, I have many hats. A lot of stuff I'm working on. and I'm always working on multiple things. But the most fulfilling and the best job that I have is being a dad. You know, that's the best job that I got. And I take it very seriously. You know, and I actually integrate her into all of my creativity. You know, so for instance, we just wrote a book, her and I. Mm-hmm. Well, I wrote it, but it is based on her. Mm-hmm. The name of the book is Nzinga Teaches / Learns a Lesson. Mm. And we just completed all the illustrations for it. It's actually getting ready to go into print. Matter of fact, I just clicked on an email just right before I signed on with you guys to approve all the illustrations. So the book is pretty much done. Man. You know, and it's getting ready to go into print. So it's a children's book. Mm-hmm. And within probably 30 days, it's going to be on everything. It's going to be on Amazon, Barnes and Noble.
That's dope.
You know,
so that's so dope. Congratulations.
Wow. So that's your key. That's your key to being successful is you just integrate her into whatever it is that you're doing and what you desire to work on.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Matter of fact, her teacher, when he gave her the award for Student of the Year, he had came to SWAM the previous Friday. Mm-hmm. She and I invited him, and he showed up, and he's like a real cool brother. So he showed up, and he just had an amazing time. He met one of my artists and asked him, which I didn't even know, he did this like on the low, asked one of my poet friends, artists, could he come and perform at the banquet, at the end of the school year banquet, and he would pay him. Wow. So one of my artists ended up getting a gig out of just, you know, her teacher showing up. Mm-hmm. But at the banquet, he mentioned, he like, I went to Mr. Frank's and Nzinga's event on this past weekend, and it was an amazing event, but it was no kids, there was nothing but adults there and Nzinga. He's like, but you could tell that everyone was making sure that she was straight, you know, that she was, you know, she was taken care of and she was safe and she had nothing to worry about. He's like, but she was the only kid there. It was nothing but adults there. Mm-hmm. He's like, and I love that, you know, so.
Well, that's a first of all, it's a compliment to you, and it's a direct reflection of her upbringing. Those things don't go unnoticed, and so, you know, as she's being commended, you're to be commended as well, because that upbringing and that training and that path and that example is what our kids need. I love that it sounds like your daughter takes you seriously as a dad, number one, and then professional as you know too.
Oh, I gotta tell you a quick story.
Yep.
My birthday was like about a couple weeks ago.
Happy belated.
Happy belated.
Thank you. And you know, when you get over 50, it's like birthdays ain't all no big thing. I don't expect no party or nothing. You know, I'm happy to still be here, right?
What? Over 50? You don't even look that.
Come on
Stop
now.
lying.
So on the day of my birthday, I get up, you know, it's early and she's on the computer and she looks up, she's like, oh, hey, Dad, happy birthday. I'm like, cool. I'm like, okay, where my gift? Where my card or something? You know, nothing. You know, so I get 100 calls, texts, Facebook, happy birthday, but no cards, no gifts, nothing tangible. And I'm feeling some kind of way, right? But behind the scenes, her and my girl, they're like planning a surprise birthday with all my friends and gifts and money and at SWAM. At SWAM on the upcoming Friday, which is just a few days after my birthday. So I'm like feeling some kind of way. I'm like, all right, whatever. But I did get one really special gift on my birthday, which was really dope. When I was here last time, I told you guys that I'd been working on this film script for the past couple of years, and I finally completed it, got it edited, copywritten, and then we're getting ready to be in the process of raising money. So a friend of mine from New Orleans had hooked me up with this lady that was assisting me in getting some seed money to get the film started. and we did all these documents, all this paperwork, and it looked like it wasn't going to happen. And then I was going back and forth with her for a while. And then finally, she told me that, I think I spoke with her the day before my birthday. And she's like, well, check your email because I think you got approved. And I'm like, okay. So on my birthday, I look in my email and it says that I'm approved. I just need to sign these docs and they're going to be putting the money in my account. That was on my birthday. So I'm like, okay, I don't get nothing else. I'm good, you know, but I had no idea what they was planning, you know, for SWAM. So I get to SWAM, like all my friends are like in there in the VIP section with the bottles, and I see all these gifts and all this stuff. And she came up and did a really dope poem about her dad. And it was a cool time. So it was pretty cool.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What are you gonna say, Zeet?
I was asking, did you document that beautiful moment?
Honestly, I mean, I took a lot of pictures, of course, and I posted a lot of them on Facebook. Okay. But it would have been cool to have an actual video camera.
I was about to say someone else outside of you enjoying the moment.
That would have been way better. But
yeah, those things are important for us. You know, it's the gasoline that we need, the appreciation. We do better when we feel appreciated.
Indeed.
As humans and artists. And I'm an advocate of making sure that people feel good about getting to the next stage. And that's what we need to do. That's what this podcast is about. Making sure somebody graduates to the next phase of them being them and appreciating the past. But I love to ask people, what are you going to be doing in 10 years, Soldier?
Right. Well, hopefully I'm going to be sitting in a big house either in Malibu or in Houston.
That's an extremity.
It is, because I grew up in Louisiana. I'm from New Orleans. So all my family's in Louisiana and in Texas, mainly Houston, Texas.
So you're incorporating your family into your legacy.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
So houses in Houston right now, 3,000 square feet, 4 bedroom, 4 bath, swimming pool, jacuzzi, huge yard. It's about 300,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been looking at quite a few over the past several months, and I've just been saving the ones I like here and there, you know. And yeah, so in 10 years, hopefully, I'll be on my 4th or 5th film, you know, and just creating that legacy and watching my daughter preparing to take over. Because I've always said, and I've said this since she was like 3, when she finishes high school, which is going to be in like 3 years, I want to be able to give her 3 options. Like, all right, baby, you can go to the college of your choice. You can start your own business. We're going to have money for that. Or you can come and work with dad in his business.
I know which one she's going to choose.
That's your 3 options.
I know which one she's going to choose, because she's going to go with what's been most consistent and what she's familiar with. So congratulations in advance.
Congratulations in advance.
Yeah, I'm going to speak it into existence because he spoke it into existence. So nobody else has anything to say about it the way he just said. So yeah, I love to ask people those questions because I think the future is important, especially in our community. And we need to talk ahead and not backtrack so much. You know, it's easy to backtrack, but it's not easy to think ahead. And I like to challenge all of us to think ahead and make sure that we set up for the future.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, we have to talk different in our community than other communities.
We have to create legacies and generational wealth.
Woo.
We have to do that for our children.
Another show.
So we have to have property and businesses and stuff. So they don't have to go through everything that we went through. So they at least have some foundation that's set up for them already. Mm-hmm. You know, so and like right now I'm teaching them about the stock market. You know, so we be online. I'm showing her how to do stocks, and you know, and I'm showing her what I've accumulated. You know, like remember who I started with this much. Look how much it is now. You know, and how everything goes up, and you know, and so And I'm getting ready to open her actual account for
Right
stock.
on.
I'm getting ready to open her a Robinhood account and get her started with her actual own.
Maybe let me suggest you this. Why don't you and your daughter go live so other people can see that experience? Because a lot, especially our community, as far as knowing what to invest in for those that have the privilege of having a dad around. I love doing that kind of thing. And
that's a good idea.
And
that's something I definitely will consider doing.
Because I mean, you're the right kind of soldier to lead those projects. You know what I mean? You are the part.
Yeah, because
nobody can take away your experience, and that's the lack that's going on right now. So we need the hands-on, the people that actually are doing it. Need the ones they need to be ones to talk about it.
Indeed.
Not some book that you didn't read a book about it. You're doing
it. Indeed. So I'll give everybody just one example. During the pandemic, AMC, which is the movie theaters, they're on the stock market. Because all theaters were shut down, their stocks plummeted. It was like $2.50, $3 a share.
Yeah, we jumped in on it.
So I bought like 100 shares right away, and then I bought another 100 shares. So I had like 200 shares, and it went up to, I think, $17. So I told them, like, as soon as the movie theaters start opening up, it's going to go up. So it went up to, I think, $17. And a friend of mine had like 1,000 shares. So he took out like $4,000 right then. And I didn't move on it. I just like, and then it went all the way back down to like $5 or $6 from that 17. But then just this month, it went up to 17 again, then to 25, then to 28. And then I said, when it goes over 30, I'm going to sell some of it. So it got to 32, and I sold like 75 shares, which was like $2,500 I just took out.
See,
but now it's over 50.
This is the insight and the information that we've past tense been deprived of, that we need to make available, and for the young and old. Absolutely. And especially the old that don't want to admit that they're not current. There's something about pride that doesn't allow us to grow, and nobody wants to feel left out, especially publicly. But I'm encouraging you to make sure somebody else sees this that looks like you and looks like your daughter. Indeed. To make sure that if they don't have the immediate resources, that they have this extension of a resource called watching you and your daughter succeed and level up and grow. This is what we need more of. And go ahead, Melissa.
Lorenzo, I got a question. Yes. And it's gonna take us deep for a quick second. But you talked about part of your motivation being that your father wasn't in the picture for you, right? So I guess my question, this is kind of a question for you too, Eric. But I want to know, as an artist, okay, how was it? Like, what was most difficult for you in terms of moving forward as an artist with your father not being in the picture? Like, what was most challenging in that respect, and how did you overcome that?
It was just challenging growing up as a kid to just not have that balance, mom and dad. And I always say this, and I still do, that one of the major obstacles or issues with the Black community, with our people, is that we lost the core family, mom, dad, children in the house. And a lot of that was intentional, but just to not have that balance was a challenge growing up as a kid, not to be able to talk young man stuff, to a man, to a grown man that you look up to, a father figure, so that was challenging. But I had such an incredible mom, that it kind of balanced out, because she was that mom. She was that Southern country mom that did not play, you know, that loved you real hard and good, but will whoop your ass if you had to, you know. So, and she was very spiritual. She was a Christian, God-fearing woman, and she took us to church every Sunday. You know, so the fact that I had such an incredible mom, uh, and my two older brothers, yeah, they was all right, you know, but they wasn't dad, you know. Matter of fact, I was a lot closer to my sister, which we still are very, very close. She's 2 years older than me, and we're both Geminis. I mean, people thought we were twins for a long time, but she's 2 years older than me.
I remember him saying that.
Right. So,
yep.
Yeah. So that's what really got me through and pushed me and challenged me was moms and big sis.
Okay.
And it's for me to answer that question. What I do realize and recognize today is the longer we're able to live, the better wisdom we can gain. And so I can look back at my parents' scenario and not be so judgmental on the times, especially the times of when they were making commitments and things like that, and the, you know, the circumstances, and the spirituality and everything. So I've taken notes. We pull from what we pull from. We take the good and the bad, and we cipher through what we want to learn from that and gain from that, and leave at bay what we don't want to continue, called a generational curse, if you will. So what's the beautiful thing about growth and being able to evolve is just looking back and reflecting and saying, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to do that, without any judgment on neither the male or the female, because really they were just living out circumstances, whether they meant it or not. And so I can feel me doing that as well in this day and time, when I can equate the time that they were in to my time and my circumstances with my children's moms. I can see the you know, who we live our lives to a certain degree to impress a certain dynamic. And then there's a part of us is like, wait, this is my experience and I'm going through this and I can't deny this. So we get what we get, and we go where we go.
Go where we go.
Indeed. And also what my mom, I would see her, she worked so hard. You know, I mean, she worked sometimes 2 jobs to make sure that we had a roof over our head, we had food to eat. It was 4 of us that she was raising pretty much by herself, you know? So that instilled in me such an incredible work ethic, you know? And I still have that to this day. You know, I believe that when you're doing business or if you're working a job or whatever, you're an entrepreneur or whatever, early is on time. On time is late.
Late.
If you late, you tripping. That's a problem. You know?
Man.
So that's how I always wrote it. And because of that, I rock t-shirts like this that says
self-made. Come on, soldier. We need to rock those shirts in our next. We need those shirts. So send us how to get those shirts.
Well, you know what, you guys, it's interesting though, because to answer the same question that I just presented to you, I don't think I realized until into adulthood the effect that, because my father wasn't present for me and my brother being raised. My mom raised us, and it wasn't until adulthood that I started to see and realize how that affected me personally, you know. And thinking about that, it's like my initial answer or response would be, well, it didn't really affect me as an artist, you know. I was still out there creating, I was still out there performing and doing and all that other stuff, but the two are so hand in hand in terms of, you know, living and being. Like all of that stuff is like meshed into what we do creatively. So even though I didn't think it was affecting me, it was affecting me, because personally I was hung up and having some challenges in terms of some things that I needed to grow through and work through as a result of living through that void, because it was a void for me. And it became really prevalent in like my early 30s, where I was just like, oh, whoa, shoot, what is this? So, yeah, I don't know. I just think everybody plays a role, and all the roles are important. And it's like, thank God for the people that step in when someone is not fulfilling their role. And I'm not saying that to bash. I love my dad dearly, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that to bash him, but I'm just saying, like, just thank God for the people that come through when you're missing something.
Exactly. It takes a village. It takes a village, and we had that, growing up down south as a kid. We knew everybody in the neighborhood, and all the mamas in the neighborhood catch you doing wrong, they got permission to whoop you.
We don't. That doesn't exist today. That doesn't exist today, and everybody's scared of each other.
You're going to jail if you do that now. People will call on you.
But you know what? That's convenient. How convenient is that?
Right. But that's the village. And I, when people tell me how great a father I am and how good I'm doing all this stuff, I receive that, but I also have help. I have a village. I have women friends, and men, that have been there when I needed them, to help with Nzinga. I mean, there's plenty of times when I sat with her between my legs and I'm doing her hair, put a little Lorenz in it and everything. Boy. I mean, wash her hair, shampoo it, condition it, do it, everything. I'll be on YouTube looking at hairstyles and creating stuff.
What?
Oh yeah. I've had to do that. I've done that. But there's plenty of women, friends of mine, that I could also call and say, could you do her hair, or she needs to get her hair braided or this or that,
And in exchange, you do that for their sons.
Right.
When they can't go play cats with them.
And different things like that.
No, it's yin and yang in this. We all need each other. And once we get over that basic concept, things could be right. Like you said, and I can totally relate. When I do have my kids in my possession, the help that I need, or the void that I need to fill while they're there to be comfortable around dad, and what their moms have to do to make up for me, it is what it is. And it's so funny. I love the kids' mindset over the adults' mindset today, because there is something about a children's innocence. And a lot of times our adulthood, we're so jaded and tainted from experiences that we can't maneuver better, because we're hung up over past experiences, one or two enough. But listening to this soldier talk, and it just makes it okay to feel like how I've felt in the past about, and making sure that it's important to be around a group of people that feel like you do in this life, because that's where we get our best energy from, to make sure that we know, okay, it is okay. And I'm not the only one. I'm not singled out, and no one's exempt from this experience. But it's just like, let's go. I'm an advocate of recovery. So I don't live life in excuses. I'm like, okay, what can we do out of this? So even though we're here in this funk, how do we graduate out of, let's get out of it. Let's not live and dwell in it, and let's not remind each other of what we did wrong and right, because that has nothing to do with this child is looking at us do these things.
And I have to shout out one of the people that's part of the village that used to call me up and say, when can I pick Nzinga up and take her to lunch and just hang out with her?
Who is that?
Melissa.
Melissa?
This woman right here.
Hey, you know what? One thing about Melissa, but
part of the village.
Melissa is genuine.
I wish I could have done more though.
What's so for you to even say that outside of what he's already complimenting you, and you already, her heart and her mentality has always been consistent. And I've known this young lady like 30 years now or something. She's never been anybody different than her right now. And it's funny because you don't have children.
I haven't birthed any children. That's correct.
That's what I mean. Right. It's funny because no one would think that because of the what you bring to the table. The wealth in this life is been other people. For me, the real wealth in this life is other people. She's like a wealthy entity in my life.
Absolutely. Mine as well.
Yeah, I concur.
And I can say that for y'all too. I can say that for y'all. Oh man, y'all gonna make a tearjerker moment right now.
Let it happen. Let it fall. Cry.
But man, we're gonna get ready to wrap up. We can't be on here, all day and night. I really wanted to just lift both of you up, really, because in terms of what I see in terms of you guys, coming through in that father role and also still being true to your purpose in terms of your craft and all the creative and artsy things that you guys desire to do, the talents that God has given you, that moves me. And I just really wanted to, highlight you, Lorenzo, and you too, Eric. Just because I think you guys are amazing men, like for real, for real.
Thank you, MSB.
Thank you so much. I receive it. Thank you.
Yeah. So
thank you, MS.
I hope that you both have, an enjoyable and memorable Father's Day, whoever you, spend that with. And just know that you're thought of and that you are appreciated.
Thank you.
And that you're loved.
Everything. Happy Father's Day to all of those guys out there handling
Absolutely. Happy Father's Day to all the Black men.
That's right.
Yes.
That's taking their responsibility serious as fathers.
Yep. So to anybody who's listening, hey, be a dad if you're not one. You can still kind of be dad-like to somebody around you. Be part of that village, right?
Absolutely. It takes a village.
Correct.
And if you're looking for somebody because you feel a void, open your eyes, because I'm sure there's somebody, within a hand's reach who's willing, to be that something for you in terms of lifting you up in terms of a male presence. Indeed. So what else y'all got before we go? Lorenzo, you want to shout anything out? Because I already know you're up to a lot of stuff.
Well, this Saturday, SWAM is usually every first and third Friday of the month.
Did you change it?
I changed it just for this weekend because it's Juneteenth. Saturday is June 19th, which is Juneteenth. So instead of Friday, it's going to be Saturday, and it's a special Juneteenth SWAM celebration. Okay. So that's going down this Saturday. And the flyer's on my page, on my Facebook page, and my Instagram page.
What is that Facebook page, Soldier?
Lorenzo Frank, Frank. Lorenzo Frank is my Facebook. My IG is Lorenzo Words, WORDS. Lorenzo Words. That's my Instagram page.
There it is.
Post the flyers, videos, everything that not everything, but some of the highlights of the show. I post periodically so people can get a peep in on what we're doing.
All right, y'all. So Juneteenth is happening this Saturday if you are in the LA area. And yeah, we've been listening to Lorenzo Frank. I'm sure we'll have him on again because he is definitely one of our favorites.
For sure. You
got anything you want to shout out, Eric?
Peace, love, and happiness. I sound like Don Cornelius with my clothes out, but I mean it.
Anything you're working on? Do you have anything you're working on you want to shout out? Yeah.
Too many things. ProjectCDO.com. And that's SIDIOOO.com.
All right.
SIDIOOO.
That's right.
That almost sounds like a jingle. SIDIOOO.
We already know about our.
Better write that down.
Write it down. All right, y'all. Well, dang. Our conversation is coming to an end. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. So you guys already know you have been listening to For the Artists, a podcast brought to you by Creative and Projects. We've been on with Lorenzo Frank, and I've been your host, Melissa Sharee.
And I'm your co-host, Eric Seats. And For the Artists is a 501c3 tax-exempt organization. So if you would like to donate to this cause, you could do so at Creative Projects. CreativeMProjects.org.
Yes.
On my head.
You know what? You gonna get it. You gonna get it. Okay. Every week you get a little bit better, y'all.
Thank God for post-production, because I'm gonna edit. Y'all won't even hear that.
But anyway, yeah, Creative M Projects is creativemprojects.org.
.org.
Yes. All right. Sweet. So we'll see y'all next week. Lorenzo, thank you for coming on with us. We love you. Happy Father's Day again.
Yep.
And till next time, y'all, keep creating from the inside out.
Out.
Indeed. Peace, y'all.